did get this figure with a pretty large lot of figures I found at Target today from the Alien collection. I can't wait to get Series 2 and 3 and complete this. Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Neca 40th Anniversary Alien Collection Dallas action figure. Now, Neca didn't quite get their 40th Anniversary collection out for the 40th Anniversary. This year, 2020, is actually 41 years since the Alien film came out. They kicked off this 40th Anniversary collection last year with the Ultimate Big Chap, and there are going to be 9 more basic releases coming out this year, totaling 10 figures for this collection. Dallas here is part of the first assortment of 3 figures. That is a Target exclusive. I had read online that people are starting to find them around the country in the last few days. Hit up my local Target store, checked out the Neca section, and boy, to my surprise, they had 3 of each of the figures. This is not the first time they've released Dallas like this. They released Dallas in a spacesuit several years ago. This should be pretty much the exact same figure, but his articulation should be smoother, and his likeness should be better, using facial and printing technology nowadays. For me, I really want to get a Dallas figure in his jumpsuit, or the suit he wore in the Nostromo. That is what I really want, and frankly I'm surprised we didn't get that in this 40th Anniversary collection. I feel like there's still a little bit more than Neca can give us from this film. So let's go and check out the packaging here. At the bottom, warning, there's an alien, Dallas, the Neca logo, kind of in retro, looks like Kenner style. At the top, ages 17 and up, choke hazard, 40th Anniversary collection. One side, here's Dallas standing there with his light, 40th Anniversary. The other side simply says Alien and Dallas. On the bottom, there's a barcode, in case that helps anybody, as well as a bunch of credits. And the back side here, we've got Dallas, a little description of the film, and then here are the other 8 figures from the basic assortment, and I cannot wait to put the rest of the Nostromo crew together. I really hope somehow they give us Dallas, Kane, and Lambert in their flight suits like they wore in the Nostromo. Fingers crossed. So no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with a 2-piece helmet for his spacesuit. He comes with a gun or blaster that is never actually fired in the film. And then he also has his light. But before we look at these accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So this is a re-release of the Dallas they made several years ago. I'm honestly not sure what the differences are. I think his face is supposed to look a little better. He's in this bulky spacesuit. It's very pink on the figure, and due to the lighting or atmosphere of the film, you can't really tell. I didn't know it was that color until I got the figure years ago, and now I sort of notice that every time I watch the film. So let's take a look at him. Starting with his head here, I must say the likeness looks pretty good. I think it's the eyes, the brow, the eyebrows, the nose, that whole sort of area. The sculpting is on point, looks good. His beard looks pretty good. He's got that cap on his head. Lambert came with 2 heads, one with the cap, one without. Would have been nice to get the same treatment for him. Really hoping they will give us Captain Dallas in his jumpsuit as he was on the Nostromo, particularly in his death scene. So this guy's detail is amazing on this figure. So much sculpting detail. I mean, look at the shoulder pads, which are soft and are not going to interfere with the articulation. Just all the different texture on his spacesuit. Ton of sculpting. I mean, just the texturing on here and here and here is all different. All looks great. He's got all these old sort of 70s looking Vision of the Future panels all over him. The detail is just really, really nice on this guy. He's got a backpack, presumably where the oxygen comes from. Old school sort of handles here. Just can't get over the great texturing on this suit. They have captured the detail from the film so nicely. Now I always remembered his articulation being pretty bulky, not that great. Curious to see if they've improved any of that. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. You may notice his head is removable, and he only has one head. That is very important to do when switching out his helmet to avoid any paint chipping or damage. Now let's look at his accessories, starting off with his helmet. The helmet does come in two pieces. We've got the base here, as well as the top. You'll take his head off, put the base on, then attach the top, giving a pretty nice looking helmet there. You'll want to take your Dallas, and you can put the helmet on without taking his head off, but on my previous one I had a little bit of paint chipping. So take his head, pretty easy enough, twist it off here, take the base, attach it, it should sort of fit into the grooves there, take his head, put it back on, then take the top part, attach it, it should fit in pretty securely, and then you've got your Dallas with the helmet. Once you've got the helmet attached properly, that's not the end. He's got these sort of tubes in the back. There are two of them. One thin, it fits into this piece right here, and then a larger one that's going to fit in back here. That's probably going to be giving the oxygen to and from his helmet. And next, let's look at his gun. Some kind of a blaster. It's actually kind of interesting. In the movie, you feel like they had no guns or weapons on the ship, but they actually had guns. There was no reason to use them while on the planet. But on the ship, they very specifically stated they were afraid to shoot it as it might bleed through the hull. Looks like some kind of a laser gun. Nice bit of texture. I see some red, some silver, some black all over this thing. Looks like perhaps a scope on the top. We really don't know what kind of gun it was, whether it shoots bullets or lasers, as it wasn't really explained or used on screen. Here's Dallas holding the gun. His trigger finger actually fits into the trigger area on the gun pretty nicely. And he can actually holster his gun onto his side here. I do love when you're able to holster a weapon so he can carry it with him and not have it in his hand. Here's his light. This thing has a handle at the top, pretty big light at the front. Not much else going on. I see green handle, some silver, some black. Of course, he can hold this thing. It'll help him see in the dark when he's on some creepy alien spacecraft. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, next let's check out the height of this guy. So, from bottom to the top of his head, sitting at about 7.1 inches, which will translate to about 18 centimeters. And then to the top of his helmet, about 7.9 inches. Next, let's look at his articulation. So, starting with his head here, it can rotate around from side to side. It can look down about that far, up about that far. Shoulders on a ball joint, and need to remind you, shoulder pads are very soft, not going to obstruct that. They can go out about this far, about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. No bicep cut. Single jointed elbows, and you really don't get a big range of motion there. It's about all you're going to get. They can rotate as well. His hand, kind of on a ball joint, kind of go around every direction you can imagine, up, down, around. He's got a ball joint, his torso here, can rotate around and go forward and back as well. He doesn't have another waist swivel down below. He's got legs and go out about this far. Pretty nice ball joint. The leg itself is able to move a little bit independently of the ball. Then go forward about that far, not too much. Back about that far. His knees single jointed and go back that far. Not even a full 90-degree bend. There is rotation at the top as well. And his foot's also on a ball joint. Can rotate, kind of go a little bit in every direction. Up, down, rock, rotate. Now I'd like to look at the differences and the reuse between this 40th anniversary Dallas and the 5-year-old 35th anniversary Dallas. The new one's on the left, the old one's on the right. We're just going to look at articulation and body differences right now. So looking at the helmet here, I see the old one has a much greener tint, the new one more copper. Looks like everything's the same so far. And I must confess, it looks like he does have a bicep cut. I missed that when looking at his articulation. It's hidden pretty nicely the way the colors change. Looks like the articulation is identical in the hands, Will say the paint is definitely different on the newer one, a little dirtier, more weathered. I'll say, looking at everything, it seems to be identical. The paint job just a little bit dirtier, but the articulation is the same. Nothing has been improved there whatsoever. So the biggest difference between these two releases is going to be the head, specifically the face. The one on the left is a newer version, and I must say I can see the Tom Skerritt likeness a lot better on him. They are using some facial imprinting technology for this new wave, and I can see the improvement, but the old one doesn't look that bad. It almost doesn't seem worth a re-release just for this slight improvement. Now give me that facial recognition technology and give me a Tom Skerritt Dallas with the cap off in his regular clothing, please, Neca. Now you should take his head off when putting the helmet on, but it can't be done without. Just be extremely careful. Take the base of his helmet, sort of put it sideways on here, just very gently find that sweet spot when you get around there. You don't want to force it, and it'll take some paint off of his nose. Get it securely into place, put his head a little bit further up. Take the top piece here, attach, and voila. Just a lot easier and safer to pop the head off. Now, let's check him out compared with some other action figures. Here he is with the rest of this wave. This is the first set of 3 figures. There are going to be 3 sets of 3, totaling 9 basic releases. This is a Target exclusive, this first wave. We've got the concept prototype alien suit, Dallas in his compression suit, and Ripley in her jumpsuit. In addition to these 9 figures, there's also the Ultimate Big Chap, which kicked off this 40th anniversary celebration. It came out at the end of last year. There's also a glow-in-the-dark Big Chap, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, should be available in about a week from NECA's website. Here are all the figures I bought from this wave. I got 2 of the concept aliens, because you can never have too many xenomorphs. I got 2 of the Ripleys, because she's such a great character. I can definitely do something with this extra body, and she came with some nice accessories as well. I did not get 2 of the Dallas figures, because I already have the Dallas from 4 or 5 years ago, and he's pretty much exactly the same. So effectively, I now have 2 Dallas figures. Here he is, next to both Kane and Lambert. These are the 3 of them that went to the derelict in the film. They found the space jockey, and Kane got impregnated with the alien embryo. Can't wait to get the new Kane, who's actually going to have his true face from John Hurt, and not the facehugger covering it up. NECA finally obtained his likeness rights. Here are the 3 of them, checking out the fossilized space jockey, that giant unexplained alien creature that has gotten a little bit too much explanation at this point. You could always have Kane facing away from you and pretend he didn't have the facehugger in his face. Can't wait to not have to do that anymore. Here are all the different figures they've made with the compression suit in the style of the 1979 Alien film. We've got Ellen Ripley, Kane, Dallas, Lambert, and then Amanda Ripley from Alien Isolation. They've sure gotten their use out of this sculpt, and I think all these figures look great. Bear in mind, both Dallas and Kane have gotten a re-release, so they've now made 7 different releases with this sculpt. Here he is, next to the spacesuited figures from Prometheus. Bear in mind that Prometheus takes place before Alien, so their suits are, in theory, more primitive than the Alien suits. We've got Phil Field, David, Dallas in the center, and Sean Vickers on the right. We were also supposed to get a Holloway from this film in a suit like this, but it seems like he's never going to make it out. Here he is, next to the Ultimate Big Chap. And here with the original Big Chap release. And here he is with the entire NECA Alien collection before they started this 40th anniversary. You can see all the different characters, some of which are getting refreshes and re-releases in this 40th anniversary collection. And don't forget the large space jockey diorama in the background. Next, I'd like to compare him to alien figures from each of the different Alien films. Here he is next to the ultimate big chap from Alien. And then with an ultimate xenomorph from the 1986 film Aliens. And the dog alien from Alien 3. And here, next to an alien resurrection warrior. And here, next to an alien from Alien vs. Predator. And an alien from Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. This is an older NECA figure, predates even Series 1 of the Alien figures. NECA has promised they're going to remake this figure, hopefully next year. Then a Deacon from Prometheus, and an alien from Alien Covenant. Here with a couple of engineers from Prometheus. And here he is next to a couple of Ultimate Predator figures. And here he is next to some human figures from NECA's various Alien and Predator lines. So overall, this Dallas is a pretty nice figure. I must say, his suit is just gorgeous. The sculpting, the texturing, the weathering. It is amazing what they did with this guy. His articulation could be a little better. It's still very bulky and doesn't give you a big range of motion. But if you watch the actors in these spacesuits, they sure moved slow in the movie. His face definitely looks better than the previous release, but doesn't justify buying him a second time. Unless you're a completist like me, I'd say probably not. If I were to rate this figure, I give him a 7 out of 10. The figure execution is very nice, but I'm just personally not super excited about him, as I was pretty happy with the previous Dallas release. Can't wait to bring on the new Nostromo characters, Brett, Parker, Ash, and depending on how you look at it, Kane as well. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.